Good day, guys. This is my second episode of Unleash the Equity, COVID-19 style. As you can see, I'm in my self-isolated attire, and I'm going to continue to dress like this in my videos until this COVID-19 isolation goes away. So I just hope you guys are at home enjoying time with your family and just, not so worried about what's going on and just take it day by day and just abide with what's going on and just stay home and cooperate with, with the country. So today I'm going to be talking about passive income, and the reason why I want to bring this up is just different asset classes and the different degree. What I mean by degree is how much time do they dedicate to each asset class and each strategy for these investments. So two categories: full title and no and partial title. Okay, full title meaning you have full control because you have title. No and partial is you have either no control or you have partial control, or if you're a majority shareholder, you have more control. Right? I'm not going to be talking about this. I'm going to be more focused on this. So mainly because people have to understand that early in my career, I really thought that you have a property manager, it's on autopilot. That's not the case. You still have to manage your property manager. It's not that simple. Okay, so I just wanted to share the different degrees of how much a landlord dedicates to each property. Okay, so the first two is agricultural, which not my thing, but I know this exists. So cash crops is when you actually have a piece of land that I'm assuming has good soil, and the farmers use that land to farm their harvest, whatever it is, and they either pay you a flat rate, either to pay you a percentage of the actual sales, or just per harvest, or whatever the lease may be. So to me, I think that's very passive. I don't think the landlord does much, especially if the lease is drawn out where just the tenant actually is responsible for everything, right? Almost like a triple net lease, which I'll get to in a bit. So timberland, which is you own a piece of land, you grow a bunch of trees. I don't know how long it takes for the trees to grow, but during that process, you as a landlord, I don't think you have to do much, because I think the rain takes care of growing the trees, and then when it's time to chop the trees down, you just make a deal with the timber company, and they take care of that. And once that's done, you just have to grow the trees again. So in terms of landlord involvement, not much there. Okay, so that's pretty passive. So commercial, retail, industrial, office, whatever it may be, a true absolute triple net. Okay, this is when tenant pays all the expenses, right? Property tax, insurance, maintenance, all that kind of stuff, right? So true and absolute means the tenant actually is responsible for the structure of the building, whether it's the roof, cladding, whatever it might be, right? Whereas sometimes if it's triple net, that the landlord is responsible of some of the roof and structure, depending on how the lease is. But it all obviously impacts the actual lease rate and the cap rate and stuff like that. New and newer condos, okay? So I think I mentioned this before in my earlier videos. Low and no maintenance, okay? So you get a AAA tenant in a good area, right? You get a lease, and then what's the main, replacement cost there is? Hot water tank and furnace, right? If applicable, and you don't change that very often, right? I mean, you might have the one-off call in a new condo where this is not working. Maybe it's Terrion's got to fix it, or if you have to fix it, then whatever, you fix it. But I don't expect those calls to be really often, especially for new and newer condos, right? So, and again, this has nothing to do with return, because normally the ones that's really passive, where you don't have to do anything like triple net, it's like you're getting the lowest cap rate and you're getting like the lowest return. So it kind of makes sense. If you're not if you're not doing much towards it, then you should get a lower return. Whereas when you're a little bit more active, then the return should be higher, right? Kind of makes sense. So leasehold mobile home parks, right? So this is, I think I mentioned this before, and in my earlier videos, one of my favorite asset classes. where you just have to maintain the grounds, cut the grass, plow the snow, maintain the roads, right? The tenant owns the mobile home, they do their own maintenance on the home, and they just pay lot rent, right? So obviously there's day-to-day activities that you have to kind of be involved, but not necessarily every day. Maybe once a week, you're in contact with one of the tenants who you designate to do all the maintenance for you, right? Take some pictures. Not much work, especially when you can automate all the payments to your bank account or online or whatnot. So pretty really passive and not much time consuming for the landlord, right? I would say 2 to 3 hours a week maximum. Large multifamily buildings, okay? So what I mean by large is when you have sufficient rental income to afford a full-time property manager that's dedicated specifically for your building and yeah, should be on site too, right? So, and again, if you have a really reputable property manager like Brookfield who owns Real Page, like at least I know that. Like, if they designate somebody to your building, it should be autopilot, but still, like you still need to don't think it's fully automated, right? Whereas these small multis or singles or even mobile homes, right? You probably won't have a full-time property manager dedicated to you. You probably have a firm where they manage a bunch of properties, and trust me, you have to keep your eyes on them too. Don't expect the reports to come in and everything is all set for you in autopilot. No, not even close. So you definitely have to micromanage them too, right? And I think here you probably get like a weekly report, monthly report. If they call you something's wrong, you should be okay. But here is even me, like I'm worried too, like because sometimes you don't want the tenants to be calling you, which sometimes it might happen, and then when you get those, that your property manager's not doing their job, right? So yeah, here I'm not going to talk too much about. So as you know, so I'll just break down. So here is like no work at all, really. Here is maybe once every 3 or 4 years when the cycle comes to grow more trees. That's when you put in your work, which is practically nothing. This is absolutely nothing, especially it's true absolute. Condos too, like it's just the same thing. It's just when the time comes to do to take care of those maintenance calls, that's it, right? At least here too is whatever 3 hours a week, maybe maximum. No, I don't even see that, right? Whereas here you have to micromanage the property managers, right? So nothing's really automated besides these. I would say these three. These ones are semi-automated, right? So yeah, the main reason why I brought this up is people don't have time for this. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs who want to invest in real estate, they haven't the time to do micromanagement, right? So they go with these higher passive kind of, or even down here too, right? But I'm sure people with large cash, they want full control of their properties, right? And it's pretty automated for them. So that's the main reason why I wanted to share this. Hope you guys have a better understanding of what passive income, at least through my eyes, are. And so the next time when you guys look for a property, you guys think twice about what you're gonna get into, like especially value add, right? That you got to put some time and effort in the beginning, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be. But just knowing that versus something that's turnkey and then it's money's in your pocket and it's passive and you don't have to do anything. So just to give you an idea about that, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, staying in there, enjoying time with your family, and just taking it day by day. Have a good night.